Hey, chat, how are we doing today? It is time for me to lose my goddamn mind over anatomy. Next to retopology, this is the thing that I dislike most about making models is trying to have proper anatomy. Like, I'd like to think that I'm decent at it, however, I am not, I'm only human. I'm not perfect at this. And that, to be honest, kind of irritates me. So, here we go. I've taken the liberty of renaming all of this stuff, so I've got like head, neck, torsos, all that fun stuff, just to help me keep a track of what on God's green earth I'm doing. And it's time to switch out the keyboard because I am going to be most using my drawing tab in this section, and I accidentally hit the space mouse and everything's gone all wonky. Oh God, what the hell did I do? Okay, let's just set that to the side so I don't accidentally smack it again. Now, where would be the best place to start? Like, I've got stuff like echo shares and whatnot on a secondary screen. Now, I've also got the physical echo share that I can refer back to for this. I think... Hmm. Do I want to start with the fingers, maybe? Just actually do them first. Would probably be a smart idea. So, I'm going to do just that. Just... Control J to join. Ah, but that if I do that, oh, I never actually mirrored the middle. Okay, that's fine then. So apply the subdiv. Sculpt mode. Now, are these look to be? I'll just apply the scale just in case. Now it's time to get on with the super snatch. Now, what do I want to do for this one? Probably I need to have this fairly fine detailed. I'll start with 0.4, and if I need more, I'll just do so. Alright, so... wood mirroring along the... Okay, yeah, the X obviously works. What about the Y, though? Okay, the Y seems to work pretty well. I'm going to do a fun little trick here. I'm going to slightly inflate this. Only slightly, though. I can't quite get it. And I can't hit shift with this because for some reason it seems to just sort of disable it. Okay, so if I set this to 0.2, like 002, yeah, that should be fine. And then I can smooth this. So now we've got an actual finger going on here. Alright, so first thing to do for this would be to actually probably just smooth it manually a bit. Alright, let's just do the grab brush for now. Make sure it mirrored in the Y, and that is going on both sides correctly, right? Yeah. Smooth out the top a bit, and now I also want to try and smooth out the pad this finger just a smidge. Like right here. There we go. Got a finger going on. Now it's time to draw in some knuckles. Not a huge amount, mind you. Just make sure we cover that quite well. Actually, to be fair, that's just a little bit weak, I think. So maybe I want to press down just a smidge harder, just really get that thing in there. Because I can just smooth it down afterwards. Then I can just grab the smooth brush, just smooth that out a smidge, and there we go. Got ourselves a knuckle. Now we can do the same on this one. Yep, this should be fine. And I just crease the underside, so it looks like it actually does bend. And crease right about here, I think, is where the joint is. Yeah. Crease right there. There we go, I've got that going on. And do I want to pinch this? Possibly, we'll see. I'm just trying to procrastinate doing the fingernails because I'm not a fan of doing fingernails. Anatomy always breaks brains, that's normal. Yeah, as somebody who has read probably one too many medical books in their lifetime, I can tell you for a fact I do not personally enjoy anatomy. Like, I truly do not. Okay, so I've got the nail going on there. Actually, I might want to set this to a higher point count, probably 0.2 if that's the case. That just means I have to make this just a smidge more detailed. Just lay that out. How you doing, Foxy? I just got back from the doctor's like maybe an hour ago, and I just needed to rest before I started streaming. I almost forgot to take my medication today, which would have been pretty disastrous had I not remembered. Oh, we got that EP. Yeah, understandable. Like, I found it's gone really cold here, and it's made me quite tired. Now, I probably just want to... Probably even snake hook this, I think, would probably be the easiest way to do this. I just need to make sure it doesn't basically downturn. I slept like shit last night because of not taking my muscle relaxer. You would think that would cause you to not do that again, but I know you well enough to know that you've done that several times already. But yeah, please try to remember to take your muscle relaxer, Foxy. Okay, and that should be good. I'll just, I constantly forget. It's like me whenever I'm taking some of my medications. Like, I never forget to take, like, my eye medications. But when it comes to other medications not related to my eyes, I am just a chronic forgetter, on God. Okay, just push that. There you go, that should be good. And then I can just duplicate that and just copy it over. So... that. Actually, I should probably be using Alt-D for this. In other news, I saw the neurosurgeon today. Oh, okay, how'd that go? Oh, you took it tonight, so you should be fine. That's great to hear. And I should actually probably move this over a bit. Rotate that. That one as well. I don't think I've mentioned this before, but I swear this sounds like Roblox obby music. Like, does anyone else hear this? Or am I just, like, off my meds? Because why does this sound like Roblox obby music? Or like, not Tycoon necessarily, but like, that one particular type of Tycoon that has like 50 billion ads on the screen. He gave me the option surgery or injections. I'm sure you can figure out which one I went with. I'm going to assume injections. Scale that in the X. Probably 2. And then scale these in the X. Just 1. And then scale this in the X. 1, 4. Actually, that might even be a bit short. 3. I need to scale this in the not X, probably like 1. Actually, 2 should be fine. It probably doesn't help that I do my anatomy entirely based off of vibes. It probably doesn't help my case. Nope, you went for the surgery? I mean, fair enough. Although, mind you, I'm supposed to be going in for surgery as well. Unfortunately, my eyes have decided that they're not going to play ball, so now I have to deal with that. That's too bad. Actually, I might even scale this in the X, just that one. It's not supposed to be that much longer. I told him I just want to remove the problem and he didn't argue with me about it, and I'm happy. I mean, that's great. The fact that he actually listens to you. Okay, let's just put that there. Alright, that should be good. And then duplicate that one. Oh, G. No. That's supposed to be Alt S, probably Alt R as well. So now if I grab this thing, because I don't have to make another thumb for this. Like, I've got this finger. So just grab that position. Probably want to rotate this and get the X. Did he give an estimate on how long it's going to take to be able to get into the surgery? Because I know these sorts of things can take a while. Okay, check should be fine, and then I just scale the C, just 1, 2. Or is it the X? The X. Okay, there we go. Scale and then not X, just 1, because that is just slightly too round otherwise. Now, I do have to add just a little bit of mass here just to make sure that the thumb connects to the palm properly, so I'll just grab that. Right down here. I just want to sculpt this onto the hand. The only thing, though, he has referred me to get an EMG done so that they can pinpoint which side to focus on before confirming a surgery. Okay. I'm not familiar with what EMGs are. But I'm sure you can provide me at least a layman's explanation on what it is. Right. Needles poking nerves, that's going to be fun. Ooh. Yeah. I had a roughly similar reaction today when I was at the doctor's, because I go there for what is basically considered therapy. It's not quite. And one of the things they suggested was like, oh, have you tried acupuncture? And I was just thinking about it, I was like, not a fan of the idea. I'm not the biggest fan of needles. Like, I deal with them, sure, but not the biggest fan of being poked and prodded. Right, so that should be good. I just need to pull out a flap of skin in the middle just to have the webbing there. Webbing on a spider-based character. Okay, click back forward, smooch, and then I'll finish that. And then I'll probably just use this to indent it a little bit. I'll just use the actual... Oh yeah, I failed to tell you. You failed to tell me what, Foxy? What could you have possibly failed to tell me? I'm gonna set this to probably 0.6. I'm not able to get into short-term disability. That's a bunch of bullshit. Although, mind you, I've experienced roughly similar problems before. But still, like, what is wrong with these people? Like, you quite clearly need the help. Why are they not helping you? Alright, probably pinch this a bit more. Because the webbing on the hand is not very thick. I probably want to draw that back a smidge too. There we go. That looks good. Now, I just want to probably join these together. Actually, I do need to... do this correctly. I want to rotate this down. Probably along the Y. Yeah, that works. Because it's supposed to be like a slant going downwards. Guess they could just think that because of my age I could be faking or something. I don't know. I honestly just hate the school system. Yeah, that's fair enough. Can't say I was exactly the biggest fan of it when I was younger either. And Blender did not like that, but that's fine. Oh, I did the thing you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to have that. Hang on, let me just quickly apply that. Go into sculpt mode and fix that before it crashes my computer. Yeah, chat? Let's do 0.7 for now. Yeah, don't have subdivision going on like while you're doing when you're doing remeshing like this, otherwise it does find a way to just slow down your computer to high shit. Let's just apply the scale. There we go. That's, yep, back to normal. I really need to find a new job, but doing that is just going to be another weight on my shoulders. Yeah, I would suggest that you focus on one thing at a time if you're capable of doing so. Because there might be a situation where you can't, and that's alright, but just do the best you can, Foxy. If you need me to help you with anything, I'll certainly try my best. Okay, I'm gonna focus on that hand for now. Because the leg is just slightly getting in the way. Oh, but then I still need the fingers available, don't I? Can I just... I think I can just hide the legs. Hide those for now. And then we just sculpt. We'll just play strips this. And I do have an echo share on the screen. I'm just going to cross-reference briefly. Okay, so there's like padding along here. Oh, did not mean to do that. So like, obviously there's padding along the thumb here. I would say I found out today that I have over 1,000 medical bills to pay off, and with my payment plan it's going to take 30 months. That's 13 months, not 30 for the rest of chat. Sorry, I run my words together a bit. 13 months is quite a while for that. Like, have you... I'm assuming you have insurance, right? I don't know how effective it's going to be considering your current situation, but I assume you have some form of insurance from your job. The surgery is going to add to that. I'm sorry, Foxy, that's something you have to deal with. I wonder, a lot of hospitals have at least a lot of hospitals in the States, from what I have seen before, they have like a special payment option if you make less than a certain amount per year. That might be worth checking with your local hospital in case that's the case with them too. I might bulk this out with the sculptor. And then I can draw on the other parts. But yeah, maybe that might be some... I'm not entirely sure what they're called, but I know a lot of hospitals in America have it for people who can't cover the costs of surgeries and whatnot. Okay. And then just detail this bit. So I'm not going to go incredibly detailed with this just yet. I just want to get a good enough hold of what this is going to look like before I start really adding details. Okay. So I'm just going to save a state here, and I'm going to... yeah, just grab this in the Z a bit more. And then this one the Z slightly up. This one slightly more. I've been considering opening up donations, but I'm the type of person that hates to resort to that option. Yeah, I feel that. Like, I'm not planning, especially anytime soon, of having, like, donations and whatnot. I completely get it. Okay, and then we want to switch this down to 0.2. I'll probably say 0.17. So I do want to maintain the detail on the fingernails. And each time you remesh, it has a tendency to lose just a small amount of detail. So it's something I have to be wary of. Okay, that. Have you considered opening up commissions, Foxy? I know you yourself are an artist. Like a much better one than me, at least. It's just that since I can't work and earn money currently, it feels like it may be my only option. Yeah, I completely understand. Like, that's a part of the reason why I picked up 3D modeling in the first place, is because of my specific conditions with my eyes. I can't exactly do, like, major physical labor, which is what I was previously known for, ironically enough. But, yeah, I figured that, like, this is my best option, so I completely get that. Alright, just pinch the undersides of these. I probably need to bulk out the base of the fingers just a bit in order to get that crease really good and tight. I've considered it, but I don't have experience with digital art yet. I'd have to learn and all that stuff first. Digital art isn't as difficult as people make it out to be. That looks a bit janky, actually. I might add some bulk to the side of this hand. Yeah, I find, probably in your case, you would have a better time converting to digital art than you think, because a lot of the digital art, what the fuck? What? I'm sorry, excuse me for a second, chat. Why is my calendar playing? Yes, I'm already working on 3D modeling. What do you want from me? But yeah, like, the techniques for traditional versus digital art are roughly similar, I found. Probably, like, you need to get used to screens and that. But you can get, like, a screen tablet, which would probably help the transition a bit, if that's something you're truly concerned about. God, that looks so janky. Although, to be fair, it does work for this character, so I'm not going to complain too hard. Also, my motivation for art has been in a rough place. I'm honestly surprised I've been streaming as many hours as I have been practically every day without feeling burnt out. Yeah, although to be fair, I think in your case, the streaming is just more a case of wanting some rest and relaxation from your everyday life, which I get. Alright. Got those. I just need to smooth out. I probably need to use the draw tool to make that slightly more blobby, perhaps. Just looking at my own hands for reference, and unfortunately my hands are so fat that I literally cannot tell where the knuckle would be otherwise. I guess it's because I enjoy playing games and meeting new people online. I mean, fair enough. Completely get that. Let's move that down a bit. I probably need to bulk up the lead up to the knuckles, but that is the correct position. That's fine. I can't expect to be perfect on all of these projects. There we go. Now we can have tendons running through the tops of the fingers. Smooth this one out here. Just add some bulk going straight into that knuckle. And that should ease the transition up to the hand. Just, yeah, a little bit better. Yeah, that looks good. Especially horror games, it gives me adrenaline, makes me feel more energized. I mean, like, I can't relate to that one specifically. And that's just only because maybe I've been doing it for so long. I don't really have that adrenaline response to horror games, you know? Although, to be fair, like, comparing, like, especially traditional horror games to modern day, like, things that are happening on the news actively, I think I've probably just overdriven the old adrenaline, you know? Like, that shit's nearly permanent. Alright. Smooth out those knuckles a smidge more. There we go. Now, draw some tendons that go in there. I'd actually... might smooth that out a bit. Yeah, it's fair. Yeah, I think I've probably overdone both the news and the horror games to some extent. Just the size of that, back a bit. And then just squeeze that in. Actually, yeah. That's fine. I can just pull it out from the other side too. Oh yeah, I should probably put a crease in here while I'm at it. Alright, now I can do the tendons leading up to the wrist. Oh, by the way, chat, I actually tried Dubai chocolate for the first time yesterday. And to be honest, I've got to admit, I don't quite get it. And the only reason I say this is because it's way too sweet for me. I mean, yeah, like, big surprise. The person who prefers dark chocolate has a hard time understanding Dubai chocolate. Jokes write themselves, really. And most of them seem to be Hosier based. Right, and going up here. What's that look like? The Dubai chocolates. It's like... I'm kind of curious. Let me see if I can pull up an image on the screen. So, this is Dubai chocolate. It's, if I wanted to call it anything, it's like a chocolate bar shell that's just filled with cream. And it seems to be the most popular filling is pistachio. But anyway, I tried it yesterday for the first time, and I don't quite get it. It's, like, ridiculously sugary. Like, my teeth hurt just thinking about it, to be honest with you. I need to redirect that one, I think. Yeah, that's like way too close to the other one. Alright, time to... There we go. Like, I just want to have it so that they're distinctly separate from each other, I think. What I can do is I can actually use the stabilize stroke function on this. There we go. And I can just have those go all the way up, and then once I smooth over them, they should just look like regular hand weapons. Damn, not the buffers, that's rough. I don't think it's... Yeah, I'm not dropping... I haven't dropped a single frame this entire stream so far. In fact, I'm pretty sure my computer does not drop frames at all, which is pretty impressive considering the fact that I am using this godforsaken software. And then... one tendon leading down here. There we go. I can turn this off. And then just smooth that down. And the fun thing is it really just smooths out the edges, but doesn't take away as much from the heights. So you get fun stuff like this happening. I probably need to smooth out the tops a bit more, but you guys get the idea. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, now that I realize, they're actually quite... Those are quite thick, actually. Let me just smooth that down in general. There we go, that looks a bit better. Now I can just smooth this out a few times. Let's give it a really good smoothing out. There we go, we've got a hand going on. Probably could have done a better job on it, but as I said, I'm not exactly perfect when it comes to anatomy. Also, I would just like to say, for those of you on the YouTube side, I currently have my channel dashboard up, right? Can I just ask why my top video for the last 48 hours includes a video that, admittedly, I entitled Face Licking? Like... Why is that something that people seem to gravitate to? I'm pretty sure it's one of my top videos too. Like, huh? I'm just a smidge concerned. Just a very slight amount. Also, I just realized on YouTube side I have this set to top chat and not live chat. I don't know why YouTube does that, right? So, this is one of those things that I have a gripe with YouTube over, like, just for the way that they handle this in particular. But for some reason, whenever you have a live stream going, YouTube shows you live, like, top chat by default. Which is fine if you're viewing the stream, but if you're somebody who's actually running the stream, that's really annoying. Because live chat shows you all the chat messages you get. Top chat does not. Let's just select a mirror. I'm gonna mirror this on the torso, and I'm actually going to use this as a basis for the next several muscle groups. Because then I can just, like, for example, I need to do the back, so I can just pull that there and then model one half at a time. And then it just does the rest of it for me. But, for real, why does YouTube not show you all of the messages if you're the person who's streaming? Like, I get top chat for people who are, like, viewing somebody else's stream, but if you're the streamer and you actually want to see your messages, it becomes really frustrating. I'm also gonna, turn off the spider abdomen and the torso as well, and probably the spinner as well, that gets in the way. Just so I can see what I'm doing with these back muscles. So if we grab these, and this goes roughly halfway down the back, so roughly around about there. And this will go up the neck, and then that connects to the shoulders too. And there's like a minor amount of muscle that comes in through here and hooks underneath this muscle, and then the major muscles of the chest go across here. So if I do this, just bring it a bit closer together and just leave a gap for where the spine is usually, because there is less muscle around that area. And then that muscle actually comes across and joins into this one, so I'm just going to Control J to join, and then sculpt mode, remesh that. Actually, probably turn that down a smidge too. There we go. So now we have that set of muscles there. So that goes into the back, and then I'm going to duplicate this again. Now we're going to do the smaller group of muscles that hides in between this section here, and then the actual chest muscles that go across. And then sculpt mode. Grab these out. This direction. And it sort of just like flattens out near the bottom here. Now the question is, how far does this muscle go around? It goes basically into here and then stops. So then I'm going to flatten this out. It's a bit early for me, but I'm going to go ahead and get myself to bed since I'm starting to fall asleep when I want to start sleep typing or something. You act like that's unusual for you, Foxy, but regardless, I hope you have a good evening. I'm probably not going to be streaming for too much longer anyway, because I started, like, really late today. And I, like, do want to calm down from the absolute kerfuffle that was today. Recover from the fact that I have to basically consider surgery within the next 2 months. So, yeah, I get that. You have a good sleep, Foxy. Alright, so the next muscle I want to do is probably start on the shoulders. So I already have that muscle going into there. And then the shoulder comes down. Actually, I probably want to make the shoulder a bit bulkier even, huh? Good night, Cyclonic. Have a good stream. Thanks, Fox. See you. Have a good one. Yeah, I think I want to make the shoulders slightly bulkier. So if I grab this, move this down. I just want to shape this into probably like a heart shape, most likely. with a little bit more lean towards the front, I believe that is. Okay. Grab that. Put it down. Yeah, I swear I have like slightly too thinner shoulders for what I'm doing. But like this is the correct scaling, so I don't know, maybe my brain's just not used to doing anatomy yet. Oh, I did actually finally get my results back from the animation practice that I did last week, and it seems like I'm actually doing quite well, so I can't complain about that too hard. So hopefully at some point I'll be able to do animations on live streams as well. Actually, that does need to be pulled out this side. It needs to be more pointed towards the bottom. And mesh that. There is supposed to be a little bit of bulk here, so I'll just put that back. Actually, I'll just pull this out. And then I want to probably store this just like that. And then bulk this up a bit. And there we go, we've got some shoulder muscles going. Now I want to do probably the front of the muscles will be easiest for me at this point. So that goes from the underside, the shoulder muscle, and all the way down the front, which is a pretty long muscle to work with. Maybe I want to actually make this a bit bigger. Actually, we'll just, yeah, undo all that. So I'll go back into sculpt mode. And make this just a bit bigger. Just really, probably even use this thing just to bulk this out. Yeah, just maybe along here. Alright. But then that also already just... Okay, I can deal with this for now. In fact, I might even just pull this down a bit more. Just go to 150 maybe. There we go. Alright, now we grab this and drag it down. And then grab the Y and back to sculpt mode for this. Alright, so grab that and pull all the way down to the elbow. And then smooth this out. Because it is a fairly, like, for the actual circumference of the arm, quite thin. Just form this. Just really pull it on top of that base. There we go. So now we have that going along there, and I just want to add a small amount of bulk like this. I did not mean to do that. Alright, let's set this to 150. Remesh that. Remesh that again, and then smooth it Alright, so that should be good for the bicep. Just pull this down a bit and then maybe slightly around. Go. Good bicep here. Alright, now I know it's supposed to be doing something. Okay, I just need to stretch this out a bit further. Make sure it actually goes into the elbow. Because there are a few muscles that wrap around towards it from up here and also down here. It mainly seems to be from the forearm though, so I won't worry about that a huge amount at the moment. Now I need to work on the, I believe this is the tricep. So in classic terms, the tricep's actually really made up of 3 muscles. But I'm only going to do one major muscle for this and then basically cut in an implication of a tricep, basically, for want of a better term. So this does not go all the way up. Actually, this is supposed to come down further. That's fine. I can just grab that, move it along, and just sculpt this into the correct position. So grab that, go from the back, and then pull that down. Go, and then smooth that out a bit. Because this actually comes from basically the underside of the arm, more or less. Like, it comes from down here and then wraps around the top. Or at least that's how this Echo sure isn't interpreting it. Okay, let's pull this in the correct position. Now we just use the grab brush to pull all this up. Make sure I just continuously remesh it so I don't run out of geometry to mess around with. Okay. Go. And time to grab all this and just pull it up, and it's supposed to meet this in the middle, but this one is actually slightly too short. And then this one I can grab and wrap around. And then that goes all the way down to the back of the elbow from the looks of it. Okay, so that's on the elbow now. Just make sure I keep like conforming to the shape of the base arm. I actually just need to remember to set all these to 150. In fact, that's what I'm going to do for this. I'm just going to set this down to 150 by default. There we go, that's a bit better. Cool. So, for this, I need to wrap this halfway around the arm too. So just grab this. Really wrap this around the underside of the arm. And then those two actually have... So the bicep comes to slightly before half. So if I grab this. Make sure I pull all this down and across. And then pull this along just a smidge. And that's roughly around where one would expect the bicep to end. Just going to inflate this. Make sure I've got good enough geometry around here. Ah, that should not be like that. Let's just inflate this entire thing just a bit. There we go. And now inflate this entire set of muscles here. Remesh that. Make sure I've got a good set of muscles here, and of course I actually need to make sure I cut in the tricep, since I'm not doing multiple separate muscles for all of that. Now I actually also need to grab this and drag it across. There's like a small muscle in here that I want to basically keep as an indent. So I'm just going to grab the rest of these muscles and pull them across. That. It doesn't add. It basically ends in a point here, so I just need to keep that in mind while I'm moving all this around. And that should be enough. I just need to make sure this conforms to the body correctly. There we go. And there's a gap there. There we go. Got ourselves tricep muscle. Just a little bit more work's required on this one though. And the cut in is basically that muscle there. So I'm just going to grab that and just pull it across. Just to fit it in with the other muscle groups in here. That one too. Just put this out a bit. There we go. And now, the muscle is around about here. It's like a very minor cut-in, but it does add, I think, quite a fair bit to this. There we go, now we just have the implication of it there. Remesh that and we should be good to go. We just need to pull these two across and then have a gap in the middle for like a teetery muscle. And it's going to basically plug into this section here. What a weird way for me to phrase that, quite frankly. And just duplicate this thing. This is like such a minor muscle that this probably isn't even necessary, but I prefer to do it anyway. That out. Okay, so now we have that stuck in the arm. Mesh that. And pull this up. It's like such a minor muscle that you probably wouldn't even notice it, but I prefer to do this one separately. Okay, cool. Now this one here needs to be grabbed and dragged across. Cool. So just pull it back and pull it across. It doesn't like to cooperate sometimes, and that's fine. I'll just force it to cooperate. So there we go. We now have that going in the direction I wanted it to. Just out small amount. And no, I do not want to do that. And then this one, I just need to pull that muscle. Actually, I just want to smooth this out a bit, because this one here actually does need to extend all the way to the top. It's such an interesting little muscle, that. And then that needs to be pulled across. Pull that across, just thicken it a small amount. And this one actually gets caught up in a second bicep muscle. A bicep muscle, or forearm muscle rather, that actually wraps over top of it. So I do need to smooth this one out a bit. Okay, so then this one I just need to grab it and pull it up until it's almost meeting with that muscle, but not quite. Just a little bit like that. And then this one I just extend out slightly at the bottom. Alright, and we've got that. So then that's the upper arm done, I believe, because this is still just going to be... Actually, that's not even in the correct position. What the hell am I talking about? I need to get the elastic deform out for this. Now we should be in a good position. There we go. Now, for the forearm, there's like multiple muscles here that I need to be worried about. We'll start with the back first, because that's actually two separate muscles that are split in the middle. It's actually a 3-muscle group, more specifically. And while I'm here, I'm just going to grab one of these, scale it down. Maybe just a little bit. Scale it down a bit more, because I just want a small implication of an elbow, just so I know where the muscles are going to connect into. Alright, that should be good. Alright, so... duplicate this, pull it down. And then... yeah, the back. I'm going to probably sculpt this into 2 different muscles, would be easiest for me. So No, actually, I'm going to grab all of these. Just a Control A and apply scale. There we go. Now, hopefully I shouldn't have any issues with whatever I need to do for sculpting. So, connect that into here. I'll just use the snake hook for this one. Smooth this out. Just make sure it's relatively close to the arm. And then grab this, pull it down. And just keep pulling until it is roughly where I want it to be. Cool. Now this one goes pretty far around the front of the arm. So I'll just grab all this. Ah, the geometry is starting to break from doing this, so I'm just going to inflate. Yeah, and that repairs the geometry enough for me to actually be able to stretch it out and pull it across the forearm. It sort of like goes halfway across the forearm and then it just boils down to a small connection that is basically around midway through the pinky finger and the ring finger. Like, what a weird connection point. Well, I'm saying that a lot of things about the human body are weird. Like, I believe there's, what is it, a nerve that goes from your throat, loops around your rib cage, and goes like somewhere nearby there. It's I forget what the nerve's called, but it's ridiculous the way it looks. Like, intelligent design, my ass. Like, how does something like that happen? Right, so that connects into the elbow like that. And then the other side is more or less the same. And I can just bulk that out once I'm ready. But there's like a third muscle that comes in here, and then these, like, both the muscles just sort of merge in the middle, almost. Just like this, like that, smooth that out. Remesh it, and we should be good. Right, now time for the other one. And this is more or less the same. It goes basically around the entire side. Like, it encompasses this section here, like from here all the way through to here. So this is a pretty large muscle to work with. So we'll just snake hook all the positions that we need, basically. So remesh that. And then grab all this and pull it up. Actually, that one can stay where it was. Right. Got that going. And then roughly around about here is where the third muscle's going to be. And then this wraps all the way around up the front, and that stops halfway around here. Like, it is such a large set of muscles, this. Actually, does it? Yeah, it does. Like, that's so strange. And then there's just a set of muscles that wraps around from... Where is it? From here, and then wraps around this section here. Okay, pull this across. Maybe make that a smidge smaller. Oh. Pull this back out. Okay, chat, there's a habit that I have that I actually do need to stop doing, right? And it has nothing to do with, like, the way I stream or anything. But I have this god-awful habit, right, where right before a stream, I will just blast music while I'm getting set up. And then it results in an issue sometimes where I almost play copyrighted music on stream. And it's the dumbest possible thing I could do. Like, earlier I was, blasting, what was it, Zero to Hero from the Minecraft movie. Because, like, y'all can say what you want, that song bangs, but that's beside the point. I was blasting that, and I almost blasted it through my echo, which would have picked up on my microphone, and quite frankly, I probably would have gone in a considerable amount of trouble. And this isn't even the first time this has happened. I accidentally did it last week when I was blasting... Oh god, what was I playing? I think I was playing Check by Baby No Money. And, like, I keep getting these close call... No, you stop. I saw that. I saw you light up blue thinking that I was talking about you. No, I fucking wasn't. You stop that. But, like, could you imagine I accidentally blast a copyright song at one point and then just getting in so much trouble? Like, goodness knows that UMG would probably jump my ass if given the chance. I fear for my life every time something like that happens. Okay, I need to, like, pull this all the way around, and I need to pull it upwards. The problem is that there actually needs to be geometry down here, otherwise I pull up the entire thing. Which I don't want. Okay, now I can pull it up. Don't worry, I'll clean this up in just a moment. So just like that. Oh yeah, fun fact. All of the grab brushes are basically the same brush, except they have different fall-off values. And that's why it looks so interesting. I think the only exception is maybe Snakehook, and that's about it. Like, that's the only exception I could think of, because I think Snakehook has some special properties that cause it to do the whole, like, pulling geometry out of the way that it does. But don't quote me on that. I know sweet FA about this software, to be honest. Alright, so that should be... I'll just smooth this out a bit more. Not too bulky. There we go. Now I just need to do that last muscle group, which is the one that wraps around here and goes all the way down there. And then I can start working on the chest. And then I've got to figure out how I'm going to do musculature for spider legs. Like, I have a general, as I said before, I think last stream, I have a general idea of how I'm going to do that, solely based off of quadruped muscle structures, but I would like to at least, well, I can't exactly cross-check my idea because there's no entomologists in my stream, but if there were, like, I would. Alright, snake hook, grab that. Probably try and follow that a bit better. And then grab that across here. And that's actually where that one stopped, more or less. I just need to bulk it out on the side. Right, and pull that down. And I can just grab this and pull it down just to make it look like there's a bend in there. Okay, that doesn't exactly look great, so I'm just gonna keep it like it was, actually. And now, that one, yeah, just wraps over top and goes down into the hand. There we go. And that flattens out. Not that much though. Needs to be actually flattening and not just shrinking down all the sides. Just that forward. I do need to study anatomy in my spare time, I think. Like, I have anatomy study books, I just haven't really read it yet. Like, I personally think the most harsh irony is the person who's afraid of anything relating to the human body, because I've not exactly had the best time when it comes to medical related stuff. Having to learn biology, anatomy, all that fun stuff in order to be able to create stuff. Like, I don't necessarily need it. Like, I could just be creating other things, but I do want to be making characters. So that is just the curse that I have to put up with. Right, that should be good for the arm muscles, I think. I should... yeah, I should pull this up and I should add that other muscle in. Just add it in there and should be just about done with the arms. I need to it's just a bit just to make sure it's fitting correctly. Yep. Cool. And then we just duplicate this. Oh, I didn't... There's something that I haven't said about my last project, which was Masingno. When I was building Masingno, for some reason I just had the perfect muscle. Like, I think it was one of, like, these types of muscles. And it was such a perfect shape that I ended up just using the exact same muscle and then just deforming it for the rest of the body. And I don't know what possessed me to do that, but apparently that was just a thing that happened. And shrink that down. There we go. We just need to grab this and fit it onto the forearm. I can just smooth this out. Remesh that. And then this one, actually, I should probably move along with the exhibit. There we go. We have muscles for the arms. Now it's time to do the muscles for the chest. The only issue is I can't exactly hold this Echo shirt up on screen. Like, it is a one that's on a web page. The problem is that it's, how do I say this, slightly too detailed? Like, it's detailed enough that I could probably get in trouble if I accidentally flip this up on the screen. So I'm just going to try and avoid doing that as best as possible. One moment, time for a water break. Gotta make sure my throat doesn't dry out, otherwise I will most likely lose my voice. But yeah, I don't imagine YouTube or Twitch being too happy with me if I accidentally pulled that up on stream. Okay, I'm going to... Is this chest too large? Possibly. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go here, go into edit mode. Just want to grab all of this and just grab it in the Y slightly. Because I do still need to put muscles on top of it. And then this, I do need to deform so that it's sitting on the back. There we go. It's actually sitting on the back now. Now, time to do the chest muscles. Now, this is relatively easy, I think. So it needs to just fit into the shoulder here. Like, fit into the shoulder there. Needs to deform upwards. And then there's a gap in the where the sternum is. And then it goes sort of downwards until it reaches where the abs would be, which is roughly about here, maybe slightly up. Go. I do need to move this back. It's like ridiculously large, these muscles, so I do have to keep an eye out for that. Yep. Just this top bit here. Here. Just make sure they're all thinned out so it's not gonna protrude too much. And then grab this, because I do want to make it slightly squared off. And all that forms into here, and then that's a gap for where the collarbone is. Goes down to the sternum, and then goes into the abs down here. And then this needs to be extended out slightly, because it does need to wrap around the torso in some varying amount. Increase the inflation on that, just to make sure it stays consistent. Just smooth out the angle of that. And presto, we have some chest muscles. Now time to add a bit of bulk to that. make sure I add a little bit of bulk, but not a huge amount. Because I do still need to do detailing on this once I get to that stage, but that's not quite yet. This. Or do I want to distort that just a smidge? Probably that would be better. Cool. So we have that now. What other muscles should I do? Probably the abs is a good idea. So G, then Y. Just pull those out to the front. Now these inherently come in two different things. Basically two different halves. So I'll just... this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to define a general shape first before I commit to making any details on these abs. That. Pull it down, and that's roughly about how far the abs go, and then it's going to go into the spider torso anyway. So it'll be a good time to bring that back. And elastic distort that so it just fits the body curve a bit better. Go. Now what I can do is I can also do the individual muscles on the side, but I'm not going to do that right this second. So now I just do this. So the first crease on this goes like downwards. And then it's sort of smoothed out afterwards. And then the lower abs actually have a lot more girth to them. So it, like, these ones are roughly similar sizes, and then this one just extends downwards towards the crotch anyway. So yeah, that looks about right. I might adjust the position of this one actually. Just want to bring that a smidge higher. Yeah, like that. And then I just adjust the general shaping of this. So that's actually supposed to go upwards in here, and then that comes down. And it comes to more of a point at the bottom. Right, so we've got the muscles for that. Let's take a look at the back muscles for a second here. So the back, I'll just get rid of the abdomen for the spider right now. Yeah, it's basically just one massive muscle that extends from halfway through here and then just curves down. So that's just what we'll do. So grab that. And then sculpt mode. Just get a bit of view of that. It's like a really weird position to try and focus on. But I can manage. So I need to keep this muscle in here in mind. So it actually starts from around here. So I'll just snake hook have that as a starting point. And yeah, basically just grab this all the way down. And then it starts, let's see. Grab all that, just really hook it into the underarm. Because that's where the armpits form, basically. Is by this group of muscles. And then goes down to roughly here. So it groups roughly here, then it pulls back a bit before having this set of muscle here, and then closer to the butt, it curves more into the back here. So if anything, this actually needs to be dragged down a bit. Inflate that. Grab this thing. Up. Like, really up. And remesh that. Smooth it out. And then all the way down to the abdomen. And then this actually overtakes the first set of muscles before going all the way down here. Grab that, pull that across. Place it to form, just push it back down there. Alright, cool. So now what I really need to figure out is how I'm going to connect the muscle group to the human to basically a false set of muscles for the spider. Because there is no way I'm explaining this away by having blood pressure from the spider body keep the entire system up. Because that's just probably not even remotely feasible for a human body. Like, I know there's high blood pressures and whatnot, but I wouldn't think there'd be a blood pressure high enough to sustain this. So do that, and bulk this bit out a bit, and then that comes into this set of muscles here, and then this set of muscles probably go over the top of, like the starting top of the abdomen, basically. Alright, just smooth this one out a bit. Don't want it to be too bulky. I suppose if I really wanted to be specific, I could absolutely define like the shoulder blades and all that fun stuff. But I am supposed to get this completed within the week, so I'd rather not run out of time. So these actually almost form a point in here by themselves. So do that. I'm feeling pretty confident about this, chat. I'm not sure about you. Just pull that up a smidge. Just to make sure the neck muscles actually connecting into the shoulder correctly. There we go. I'm sorry. This reminds me of something of a fellow student was learning while we were on the 8-week course. And for the final week, somebody did a buff snowman, and this very much reminds me of that. Like, how does one give a snowman a muscle system? Like, how did they go about doing that? Because it is rather odd, I think. Alright, I'm gonna do the abs like this. I'm not a huge fan of drawing on... Actually, no, I need to practice that. I'll draw on those particular ab muscles. I need to practice actually being able to draw stuff on. Now, for the neck muscles, which is the next what I'm going to do, I'm going to just do these small ones from the front. Alright, sculpt mode. Yeah, because anatomy takes me so long, it usually takes me like 2 days to get this done. So this is definitely going to be a stream thing for tomorrow as well. So that goes all the way into the side of the skull here. It needs to thin out here as well. And that just curves in from around here and then just pulls around the front. And then it just joins into the collarbone here. Yeah, roughly like about that. And yeah, I think that works. Now, the other set of muscles actually comes from here. So I'm just going to yoink. And have that go up into the back of the neck and around the side here. Alright, cool. I think probably, since I have nothing to do tomorrow, I'll definitely be able to have a longer stream where I can do the lower half, the musculature, do like the face and all that fun stuff, and then if I get lucky, I might be able to get away with doing a bit of detail work. Just like a little bit, probably more so the face than anything else, because that's going to be my biggest concern. Alright, I think I did a good job today, chat. I've gotten pretty much the entire... So the hands, arms, back, chest, neck. So all I've really got to do is the abdomen. Like, basically just all the spider parts. The legs are going to be the biggest nuisance, but I think I can probably do it. And, like, I can just do one, and then I can just duplicate it 8 times. Because spider legs are pretty easy, I think. But you only have to do the one. It's not like human fingers where you have to take into consideration the sizing and that. Yeah, I think that's great. So I'll just save this, and then I shall end the stream. Where's my stream ending? There it is. I don't think, again, I don't really have anyone to raid. I seem to stream in a dead hour where there's just not much going on. Well, at least not from the streams that I follow anyway. So I shall see you all tomorrow, which should hopefully be a longer stream.